Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe here today with some ArmA 2 and just playing a custom-made mission that I had created in the mission editor here. Very basic, and in fact probably doesn't actually have an ending, unfortunately, because it seems like you need to script in order to actually create like an ending situation, which is kind of unfortunate because I am too lazy to want to learn how to script for this game. It'd be kind of cool if there was a drop-down selection box that could give you some basic ending situations, like, for example, kill all enemies equals victory or something like that. You know, and you could just select it and then that would be the outcome, or, you know, capture object or secure area, you know, just like really simple drop-downs. But all in all, I mean, we have to face the fact that it's cool that this game actually has a mission editor, as opposed to most games these days that don't include such things. Mostly because they want you to buy their DLCs and expansions and sequels, so they don't want you making custom content. So it's just another reason to love this game and to soon love ArmA 3 as we creep around here. Also, I do kind of want to bring up the point of units, multiplayer units, as we take fire and return fire or create fire here. And a lot of you have asked me whether I'm going to join a multiplayer unit or film any multiplayer footage, which I would like to do. However, it's more so coming down to time. And I'm going to try to grab some cover at these trees here and see what they're shooting at.
3 is dead.
Alrighty, losing people already, and it happens to be the medic. But as I'm kind of playing live here, I'm not paying too much attention to that. But in regards to joining a online unit, like I said, it more so just comes down to time that I don't really have. It takes a lot of time to train with these units, get used to how they operate, and then make scheduling, you know, for the actual missions and things, which, from what I can tell from watching YouTube video, can in itself be a few hours of gameplay, which is, you know, totally cool, exactly what I would love to do. But just at this point in time, I'm just so busy with all the airsoft footage, and I'm really trying to catch up a little bit more on some of the gaming content, especially with some hot titles coming out, and ArmA 3, of course, in the near future, I believe in the summer, which, as we've eliminated a few of these opponents here, I kind of want to discuss a few things in regards to ArmA 3, and the major question is, how many of you are purchasing ArmA 3, and is it going to be enough to satisfy you when you have this game that is still pretty darn good and really still holds up? The other great debate is, of course, the fact that ArmA 3 is based on future content. In fact, from what I've read on the website, I believe the year is somewhere around 2030. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not, you know, crazy future. It's not like we're talking about laser beams and hover tanks or something, but it is a believable future, and it uses conceptual weaponry. Let's see if we can get this guy running. Oh, there we go. He's down. I think I see another guy in the forest all the way in the distance there. But, oh, I was trying to lead, but he didn't go that direction. So it seems to be a believable future using conceptual weapons and weapons that are either on the drawing board or do exist but aren't really actually being used just yet. So it looks like we got maybe a light vehicle here. It's one of those things where a lot of people, apparently, according to some of the forum posts I've been reading, are kind of turned off by the fact that it is in a near future. Even though, from what we've seen of screenshots and videos, like I said, it doesn't look that bad. It's mostly concept weapons and vehicles, so I personally don't have a problem with it. I think it's kind of cool, as long as it doesn't go maybe too far into the way of like Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, which nowadays with their new Future Soldier game that they've got coming out is going maybe a little too far with some of the weird vision modes that they have and just some of the craziness that takes you too far out of reality in a way. And in some aspects almost builds in cheats into the game. There's a lot of sci-fi games out there, kind of like the video I did on Blacklight Retribution, where there's a mode where you can basically see where all the enemies are at, you know, and whether you want to say it's science fiction, you have all these vision modes, I don't agree with that, because it's like, it just feels like a cheat, you know, it feels like a wall hack built in, and I don't think any type of game should ever allow for those types of abilities or gadgets, because it does remove challenge, and these games are always about challenge. So I think it's safe to say that, you know, ArmA 3 isn't going to go that far. You know, at most you have things like thermal vision, and which is all stuff that, you know, we have in reality today, but as long as it's not, you know, X-ray vision seeing through walls, it can get pretty crazy. I remember the old Tom Clancy Rainbow Six games had a heartbeat sensor which you could equip, and you'd be able to see enemies on the mini-map through the different walls and things, depending on where you were pointing it. And I also remember the fact that they at least allowed you to turn it off if you were a server operator, so that you couldn't play with it. And I was always a server host for me and my friends, and I would always turn it off. It was just unacceptable to me to be able to, they're right behind this wall, so nah, that just takes away the challenge. It's no fun. As we're just going through, hey buddy, just run in front of me, that's cool. Just sneaking through here. AI still giving me some trouble, but no worries. We seem to be doing alright. I want to look out for that. Oh, there we go. What do we got? Something there? Nope. Thought I had a target. Just seeing things. Now, the other thing with ArmA 3 is it does seem to have quite a few enhancements that are very tempting. I mean, first of all, let's look at the fact. Okay, so we got the future scenario, 2030. And we have a more Mediterranean island, which is kind of based off of Greece, which is kind of cool for me. My family's from Greece, so it'll be kind of neat to see that kind of stuff. Then we've got a new animation system, apparently, that will be taking advantage of the physics system. And that's always good, because the animations in this game, in some cases, are pretty poor. And at the core, the animation engine just seems to have some problems, and could use some work. So ArmA 3 apparently is going to take a look at some of that. I've noticed that while you're in vehicles, they want to make it look more like the characters are actually really interacting with the vehicles and how they're holding on to things. And let's actually check the map here. 2 contacts, just chilling. All right, we need to turn about. So that'll get some work. Sound engine, maybe. From what we can tell from some of the videos, the sounds seem a little bit better than default. Although I am using the JSRS sound mod in this video to help with that. So we're going to have some engine improvements. The game looks pretty good. I mean, in some ways there are some similarities, but in general the game looks a little bit better as far as the player models are designed. The poly count seems a bit higher. The uniforms and things seem to hang off the body a little bit better, and textures, of course, are really pretty good in this game alone, but they just seem a little bit sharper or more detailed in 3 as well, in some cases. But otherwise, the games almost look fairly similar. So it kind of comes down to, with those changes, are those enough to make you really get into that game? Because I know a lot of people don't even care about the sounds or the animations that much, and a lot of people will probably be able to live off of this game indefinitely, just depending on, you know, if the community sticks with it. Like if you have a clan that's saying, hey, you know, we're all moving, you probably should come with us, that might be the only thing that might draw some people. Whereas a lot of people are like, well, there's not really any point, we're fine with this game. This game is moddable, has a mission editor and has so many possibilities to it. You know, it's really difficult to create a game when you've made this game that has so much. Oh, really? Come on. I can't believe I'm not hitting that guy. Okay, let me go. Kneel. I had to kneel down there for that shot. I guess I don't got those mad skills. And I believe there might be one more. I think he went around the left there, so I'm going to come about and take a look. Shots fired.
5 is down.
Oh no, that's not good. This is one of those missions I'm not exactly taking it too serious, just because it is a random mission that I've created. And you know, funny as it is when you're trying to do commentary over such an extremely tactical simulation like this, it's not always easy to concentrate on everything that you would when you're actually not trying to talk about a important subject such as ArmA 3. But so really, I want your guys' feedback on ArmA 3. Are you getting it? Do any of those things that I've mentioned turn you off? The future stuff. Do you think that, you know, a lot of people just won't upgrade to it? Whereas, you know, before, I mean, this is the first time that they've made such an advanced step into, I guess, you know, the future is what I'm trying to say. Moved forward in time that drastically. I mean, if it literally is 2030, that's a big step compared to going from, you know, ArmA 1 and then 2 and then boom, all of a sudden, you know, 2030. Are there any, you know, are they inspired or motivated to go in that direction based on other games such as the Ghost Recon franchise, which is basically terrible and probably going to flop again because Ghost Recon hasn't had a good title in many, many years at this point. So who knows? But maybe they just want something different, because if you think about it, if you're going to make another sequel, you know, you're going to make ArmA 3, how can you make it different? There's not really too many options that they have. You know, they have this game that just, these days game engines are only going so far. They're not changing drastically enough to the point where it's like, okay, this is the reason to get the game. I mean, the only game engine that's come out recently that's really pushed people to purchase has obviously been Battlefield 3 with the new Frostbite 2 engine. So, you know, with that said, they're really going to have to push the gameplay. Oh, take cover. I don't want to die. Not yet, anyway. Oh, I'm stuck. Totally stuck. Oh, you're killing me. I didn't get up. Okay. And there's those little glitchy things, like you get stuck on a rock or you run into your buddy and it makes you stand up. Probably should just roll to somewhere where I can kind of see here. Where is this guy? Oh, he's all the way over there. I'm going to get him before this video is up, I'll tell you what. But I do not see him yet. Now, the other thing I was using too recently was the Ace mod. I did have it loaded. I obviously don't have it now, as you can see, because I have a crosshair. I found it did add to the realism of an already extremely realistic game. In some cases, I found that it wasn't too necessary. In other cases, I found that some of the things it added were pretty sweet as well. I don't know if it seemed like it made the AI a little bit more difficult to deal with as far as the enemy. I'm not sure if it is an AI mod. I know I had some suggestions from you guys as far as a few mods to actually increase the intelligence of the AI. The Ace mod seemed to make the enemy a little bit tougher, which was cool. However, and in some cases, I noticed that when I was on patrol with my friendly AI, they seemed to take better cover. But I don't know if it was just my imagination or if the Ace mod did affect those types of things. It did seem like it did. However, I'm not using Oh, there we go. Hey, buddy. Apparently, I can't shoot.
Reloading.
Really? Like, okay, I can't. There we go. What? Okay, what was that? I mean, I had the crosshair right on him. I mean,
Gotta reload.
there's little things like that with the ballistics that kind of get you. That, I don't know if I was doing something wrong, but it seemed like I tend to run into things like that sometimes. And there are some cases where I think it's those little things that will scare away new gamers to the franchise. And some of you may say, and I even may say, you know what, who cares? Because it's kind of like a customer you don't want. If they're not willing to take the time to learn how to play the game, then you kind of don't want them in the community. And, you know, as harsh as that is to say, I've said that before with certain games. I mean, it's just the way it is. In fact, I mean, that's kind of my biggest complaint about Battlefield 3. Although it's a completely different arcadey type of game, it was one of those things where there were certain people that I don't want in that community. And I think that in some cases, the fact that Call of Duty has done so poorly lately is the reason that the community for Battlefield 3 has gotten so bad, because we now have certain Call of Duty players that are now in our Battlefield 3 game that just want nothing but close quarter battle mega deathmatch with no team play. So, but that is definitely a conversation for another time. I'm pretty sure that I've cleared out most of this village. And I think that's that. Like I said, there is no ending to this scenario because I have not learned how to script an ending. But it is kind of cool that you can just jump in here and practice. So it makes it kind of fun. Hopefully I can get some more ArmA footage out and we can continue our discussion of ArmA 3. Perhaps I will answer some of your questions in regards to the game after you've given me some of your opinions on this one. So anyway, guys, this has been SideStrafe with ArmA 2. Stay tuned for a whole lot more. Take care, guys.